Welcome to Zoom In, Zoom Out, your global look at news from Taiwan. I'm Rik Glauert, here in Palau's former capital, Koror. Palau's President Surangel Whipps Jr is starting his second term in office. Palau is a diplomatic ally of Taiwan, one of just 12 countries around the world that recognises Taiwan's sovereignty despite pressure from China. Today, to discuss Palau's relationship with Taiwan and his plans for his next term in office, we're joined by His Excellency Surangel S. Whipps Jr. Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for being here.
You won a second term in office late last year, giving you another 4 years as the country's president. You said you plan to diversify the economy while protecting the environment. How are you going to do this?
When it comes to the ocean, one of the things that we're looking at is how do we optimize the use of those resources, but use them sustainably. So Palau, many years ago, passed the Marine Sanctuary Act, which closed off our EEZ to fishing, 80% of it. And one of the things that we're looking at is, now that we've done studies, how do we ensure that we protect that biodiversity and really go to the optimal goal, which is 30% protected, 100% managed. And that way, the healthy oceans that we have, in turn, combat climate change, but then provide an economy that the people can use. So we got to look at fishing as one area where we can diversify.
You've said Palau, home to 18,000 people across more than 300 low-lying islands, is at risk of drowning due to rising sea levels and climate change. How are you going to face this crisis?
So some of the things that we're doing is, as we build back better, it's moving, for example, infrastructure away from the coast, moving to higher ground. So important for our infrastructure is building those roads, getting access to land so that people that are living along the coast, as their homes age, let's move them inland. One of our biggest challenges that we're facing going forward is our hospital. It's right next to the ocean. The wind shifted so many degrees north and the hospital's all on the first floor, we would have had inundation. And that would have destroyed our surgical ward, everything. And every time we have a storm, we move patients to my office because they're down by the sea. And this inauguration coming up, Prime Minister of Tuvalu and the President Heine of Marshall Islands be here. And those islands have no high ground to go to. We want to ensure that those people continue to live and continue to thrive. And that's why it's so critical that we do everything we can, whether it's Palau and its conservation efforts to combat climate change or renewable energy projects. We encourage the whole planet to do their part, because that's the only way we're going to make it work.
The latest climate summit, COP29, disappointed a lot of people, particularly the fact that wealthier nations seemed unwilling to help poorer nations face up to the climate crisis. How can a country like Palau survive this threat?
It is difficult, but I don't think that's a reason why we should give up. I think it's a reason that we should fight harder to make a difference. And one of the things I just want to share is we had a foreign minister from a very large country in the world come and visit us, and went around and talked about, seawalls need fixed, and we're ready to help. In the end, no help from them. But I have to say that what they can't do, Taiwan has done. And that's really the strength of bilateral relationships. Taiwan is helping us build seawalls. It's helping us build infrastructure to harden those facilities. What we've got to show is we've got to demonstrate that those investments with our partners help everyone.
Let's talk about your relationship with Taiwan. You've been a diplomatic ally of Taiwan for decades, and despite pressure from China to switch allegiance to Beijing, you've said you've promised to stick by Taiwan. Why?
I think most importantly, we're a free and democratic country. We respect rule of law, human rights, and territorial boundaries. And I think as a small nation, if those rules are not respected, then all our survival is at stake. So now more than ever, I think all countries should stand by Taiwan's, big and small, because I think at the end of the day, we all want to live in peace and harmony and respect each other's territorial boundaries. And at the end of the day, that's all we're asking for. keep the status quo and continue to work together to build a planet that we can all live in harmony.
Palau is one of just 12 countries that officially recognises Taiwan's sovereignty, and you've said that it's important for you to give Taiwan a voice on the international stage and speak up for Taiwan in places like the United Nations. Given China's objections and influence, this must be difficult. Have you personally experienced any pressure or pushback?
Oh no, Chinese officials always tell us you need to do the right thing. And the right thing for them is to announce Taiwan. And I say, well, no, that's not an option for us. We're all members of the UN. We respect your sovereignty. We respect you as a country. And you need to respect us as a country and respect our sovereignty and our decision to recognize Taiwan. And we recognize you as a country. But obviously that's not what China wants to agree to. And so their narrative is always, we need to change what we're doing and join the rest of the world.
As a Pacific Island nation in a strategic location, Palau is caught between big world powers like the US and China, and your friendship with Taiwan makes you a target for Beijing. You flagged economic coercion from China, cyber attacks, and Chinese vessels entering your waters. Have you seen China's tactics change as you're entering into your second term in office?
Well, we definitely see an uptick in organized crime coming into Palau, whether it's the online gaming operations. We've had a record number of drug busts at the airport of Chinese nationals bringing in drugs. So, and these are all issues I think that help weaken us as a nation. And so we're very vigilant, and it's, I'm glad that Taiwan is assisting us. Their Justice Department is assisting us in combating these challenges because we need good intelligence. I watched a documentary of how China is encroaching in Nepal or Bhutan. It's everywhere. And that is concerning to us because we have Chinese research vessels continuing to come into our EEZ, not respecting our boundaries and our rule of law. And they've even gone in to our areas and named ridges Chinese names, undersea ridges. And then on our extended continental shelf, they're constantly surveying and try to put Chinese names on those ridges.
Do you think actions like this, Chinese vessels naming geographical features, ridges, reefs, is an infringement of your sovereignty?
Oh, absolutely. We're a long ways from China, but to have ridges within our EEZ and on our continental shelf that have Chinese names on them because of those research vessels, to me is a threat to our territorial boundaries. And then we're a member of UNCLOS and we're trying to establish the extended continental shelf, and China is the one that's always blocking us.
How are you working with Taiwan on maritime security?
I've always said that presence is deterrence. And just to give you an example, we have a patrol boat and it's 150 feet long. Those research vessels that come into Palau are 500 feet long. So for us to do patrols and go out and see these vessels is it's quite intimidating. And so having our partners and allies coming and doing joint exercises with us really helps in our whole goal of presence is deterrence. So we're grateful for the Taiwan Coast Guard to come, and we want more regular visits. That's the whole goal is we've had visits from Taiwan, we've had visits from Great Britain, France, Australia, of course the United States, and they're increasing those frequencies. But a Minister of India, Interior State, is coming to the inauguration, and I definitely want to talk to him about Indian vessels coming and visit us because we want our allies to visit. We want the world to know that we promote freedom and democracy, and a free and open Indo-Pacific is critical to all of us.
China is still an important trade partner and a big investor here in Palau, leasing land and building tourism development. Given this, does this make Palau more vulnerable to China?
China has been one of our top investors for the last 15 years. If you look at most of the new hotels being constructed, they're being constructed by Chinese Yes, and a lot of what we import comes from China. You're absolutely correct. They're an important trade partner, just like they are with the rest of the world. So we have to learn to balance these issues, and I think we're trade partners, and we continue to be trade partners, but we also must respect each other's sovereignty. We must respect rule of law. I have the longest list of undesirable aliens of any president, and the list will continue to grow, because as we gather more intelligence, we find there's people that are coming in that are a threat to our security. We will continue to add to that list to ensure that Palau remains safe, not only for Palau and its allies, but also for Chinese, because we want the Chinese people, they are an important contributor to our economy, and we welcome them.
Do you ever rethink the decision to continue to recognize Taiwan as a small country angering China, a very powerful country? It's not an easy situation to be in.
I believe that we should always stand by our principles and do what is right. And we are grateful for the friendship and the partnership that we have with the people of Taiwan. What we have learned from our friends in Taiwan is they are not a fair weather friend. They are through thick and thin. And that's what family is all about. I mean, Taiwan, well, they are our family. And our roots go back to the Austronesians. So really, as family, that bond should never be broken. And we, if anything, it needs to be strengthened and nurtured. And I think President Chai, President Lai have just had a wonderful relationship working with them to continue to nurture and strengthen that relationship. And what we want to see is more Taiwanese investment in Palau. So Minister Lin is coming to the inauguration with 45 investors. And you know, that's just a testament to not only are you a partner in helping us build infrastructure, but you should be a partner in sharing in the prosperity. Next 4 years, let's build some Taiwanese hotels, Taiwanese industry, aquaculture, whatever is out there, transportation systems. But we're excited and looking forward to what can be possible. Yeah. Or maybe some chip factories, I don't know.
A greater US presence has proved controversial in the Philippines. President Marcos says he won't be giving more US access to his country's bases after a backlash from the public there. Do you worry that inviting the US military into Palau could place Palauans in the line of fire in the event of conflict?
I think that we're already in the line of fire. That's why there's activity here. So because of that, we're already vulnerable. So what we're doing is just ensuring that we're not vulnerable and the deterrence is there. But I know there's an argument that somehow if everybody's out, then we're safe. No, I think if everybody is out, let's say the US is not here, then we're vulnerable. China will just walk right in. They walked right into those reefs in the Philippines. Why won't they take over some of our islands? There's no stopping. They're doing it in Bhutan. They're doing it in Nepal. They're doing it in India. Just pushing everywhere. And we need to say, this is the line. Stay back. And we're grateful to our allies for their support.
With that, thank you so much for joining the show today. It was really great to talk to you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to share about Palau.
This has been Zoom In, Zoom Out. For more stories from TaiwanPlus, check out the TaiwanPlus website or follow us on social media. I've been Rik Glauert. Thank you, and we will see you next time.
太很想回去寻根了。
We are honored to win Best News and Current Affairs Program at the 2024 Asian Academy Creative Awards.
Taiwan. Broken news.
Stunning news production from TaiwanPlus.
Thank you.
Thanks to viewers like you, competing with some of Asia's finest productions, this win is a milestone for our young team at TaiwanPlus.